Hello and welcome to your Wednesday Advanced Webinar. My name is Jared Krebs. I'm here in San Antonio, Texas. And before I bring on our special guest for today, I want to remind you of 10 things to expect when building your USANA business. Number one, there will be ups and downs, just like anything. Number two, success or failure is up to you. If you succeed, it's because of you. If you fail, it's because of you, not because of the person who invited you to USANA, not because of USANA. Success or failure is up to you. Number three, the goal is for you to become independent and be an independent leader for your team. Number four, make your plan on the weekends, do it, review it, and make adjustments. Plan, do, review, and adjust. Number five, it's going to take time. It's going to take 1 year to become competent at the skill sets to do this. It's going to take 3 years to develop a significant part-time income. It's going to take 5 years to develop a significant full-time income and 7 years to become world-class. It's going to take time. Number six, it takes consistency. You have got to be consistent and do your DMO every week, week in and week out, just like you would with a job. Number seven, you are going to have to grow and get outside of your comfort zone, for sure. Number eight, mental toughness is necessary. Number nine, the grass is not greener in other companies. The grass is greener where you water it. And number 10, this is a long-term game. USANA is 25 years strong, with over $2.5 billion paid to its associates. It's given me and my wife, Crystal, a full-time income for over a decade, as well as thousands of people around the world. And hundreds of thousands have made a part-time income with USANA over the last 27 years because it works if you work. And bonus tip, amateurs sell products, but professionals sell the vision. Make sure that you're sharing these videos with your clients. Help them see that USANA is more than just a great product. It's also a great community. It's a great financial opportunity. It's great for personal growth and development. And few have done it as well as new achiever and premier platinum paysetter, Sue Ann Knoblauch, who is with us right now from San Antonio. Sue Ann, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so honored to do this.
Oh, yeah.
Really excited.
We are so excited to have you. And first of all, I just want to congratulate you on your recent advancements to Achiever and also to Lifetime Platinum Paysetter. For those of you who don't know what that means, Achiever means she made over $400 in 1 week with their business, and a solid achiever is making that every week. So that's $1,600 to $2,000 a month, which is really right on the verge of going into a full-time income. It's very solid part-time income, and so you are well on your way, Sue Ann. We want to know today about your story. We want to reflect on the last year of your business and just like what has been like your greatest joy in building your business? What have been some of the challenges you've faced and you've overcome along the way? And what is your mindset today as you are moving forward into that top leader position in USANA?
Yeah, well, thank you, Jared. Yeah, so it's been quite a journey for 14 months or whatever it's been now. I am just like really a completely different person. You know, I mean, this probably the self-growth and development is what really keeps me going. And it was such a huge attraction for doing this business, continuing on. Every morning I wake up just like fired up to be doing this. I dream about it. I mean, it's just really crazy, right? All the time, 24/7, right? But, you know, you could even look back at, I was kind of that way even like 30 years ago, sort of crafting my life of how I wanted it. And I started out as an Army nurse. And when I got out of the Army, when I was done with that and wanted to move on, I found case management. But it really was a lot from now when I look back, like visualization of what I wanted my life to be. And when I met someone at the grocery store, had been a nurse friend of mine, she's like, oh, well, I work from home. You know, like that was some of the criteria that I wanted. You know, I was like, wait, hold up, get me an interview, you know. So that was like in '93. So got going with that. And but interesting thing is that like through the years, like I ended up with like a chronic pain problem that lasted for maybe like 10 years. I had like depression where I just wanted to curl up in the bed and sleep a lot, which, you know, like, I don't know if you all have ever experienced this, but you know, that depression where you like don't even know you're depressed. You just thought that was normal. I went through like, probably right before I found USANA, I had like a 5-year period where I was really like introverted And the only people that I would tell a lot of stuff to, I would always call it my living room lectures. And my family was like getting a little tired of hearing, like the viewpoint going on and on in the living room. So, but I wasn't really expressing that out or sharing with anybody. I felt like there was this light inside of me and something that was supposed to be coming out and attracting and helping other people, but I just didn't know what in the world it was. I did about 3 or 4 other network marketing companies, and so that's kind of what ended up leading me to what I'm doing today, because I did those others and I could always see there was a vision that people could do really well with it, and people did make money with it. People, that was their sole living. They had the residuals. Once they were able to quit working, I could see all that, but I just couldn't see how that could happen for me. And I would usually get into something that had no support system, no phone calls, no nothing, no systems. And one of them, I made $9 in that year. So it's like really, really awesome. And but I guess I really just never gave up on the vision of what this kind of business could do for me. And so my little funny story is that so who I enrolled under is who's interviewing me, Jared. And so the interesting is we met like about 2 years ago at a spiritual workshop. And we just like friended each other on Facebook, and that's all I'd heard. And the reason why I'm telling this little story is it's like really important to know that sometimes you might get to know somebody, or maybe just friend them, and it could take some time before they decide that they're ready and timing's all right to actually join your business and get active. So about a month later, he asked me to watch a video, and I was like, no, I just thinking I had this bad experience, from before with these other ones. But he was consistently doing his Facebook Lives, and he would come up on my feed. The other portion of this, I really knew that Facebook, Instagram, everything to do with being on your phone, that was like the huge new wave of where we are today. And but I was watching just like a bunch of cat videos, and you just wasting like 2-3 hours. And sometimes my family would be like, "Are you off of that yet?" And I'd be just like scrolling. Well, anyway, Jared would come up on them. Jared would come up like every day, and then I'd watch somebody watch like a minute, sometimes a little more. And so the other thing I didn't even know that it was doing for me, it was answering like 3 questions that later then I found out that we all have, that people come into the business. And one is it real? That's the first one. And so by seeing that consistency that he did, I began to realize he's a real person. He really lives in San Antonio. That's where I live. This really is a business. He's really earning money doing it. It consolidated that for me, that it was real. So that by the time we hit about July of 18, then I decided to enroll. So I called him up, and the funny thing, I won't get into that story too much, but I was kind of like masquerading as if it was like a friend that wanted it, and it turned out the friend didn't want to join at all. She'd gotten burned out on the $9 one we did before, and so she still never came back. But it was really for me. And I remember waking up one morning that a little voice in my head said, like, this is the last network marketing that you'll be in. And I was kind of like, well, that's interesting. I'm like, okay, does that mean, is that a good or bad? Like, is that like, that's the last, or that's the last, So it's actually turned out to be on the good side. That's the last one. So anyway, when I enrolled, I just began to, the other great story is that, so Jared had me make phone calls on the first hour training. I think it was about 2 days into it. I think I joined on the 5th, and it was like the 7th. In fact, it was on Crystal's birthday, which is really weird to think back, but I didn't know that. But anyway, so he was like, okay, we're gonna make calls. And he was very firm, and he had me actually do it. And so I couldn't like back off. If I had said, no, I can't, I was like, well, what the heck? Why did I even join? That was kind of my thought, even though I was like super nervous. And the huge luck that happened was the first person we called was a coworker, and bless her heart, she actually ordered. She got some essentials. She's never ordered since. She ghosts out on me all the time. I can't get back with her, but she is like still like sacred in my heart as my first person. And but to have that right off the bat was huge. And then then basically I just started talking to everybody, and I started getting like a person a week. one week, just at one after another. And, doing them the backside, showing them about their products, but someone's not always doing such a great job at that. So some would drop off. And so, you're going to see this ebb and flow with people, trying to stay in contact with them. And so that was the whole first year. I actually signed up for like 52 people. So I had a big push for Builder, and I think I texted out on that 1 week like 125 people, and that signed up like 15 in 1 week. That helped me to advance. So I wanted to do that before convention came. I felt it was important to rank up and be always be on the move and growing. So, but I couldn't get my mind I guess the big thing for me was in that first year is getting my mind into like, how would I have an associate? How would I have a team? What would I do with them? I mean, yes, we have these beautiful systems and they're like all mapped out completely, but it's still between your ears. Like, it could be there in paper, but if you're not like set in your mind to do it, it's just, the paper's just going to sit there. So I ended up, I don't know, due to certain circumstances, an associate got put under me, right? That was not personally sponsored. But somehow in my mind then, it was like, oh, there's someone there. And then right away, within the next week, I just started signing up associates. And so now that's been one a week since July 1st, one a week. And so I've also heard from a lot of other folks saying that, start acting like you have a team before you have a team. Start, just acting like a leader. Start, having a webinar, run a Zoom, just learn how to do stuff. Just be as if you're like the top leader. And so that's what I started to do, having the Power Hour Zoom thing. Thank you, Jared, for letting me have that leadership little role there. And then also I'm on Saturday, I decided that, just have like a little group of Sue Ann's friends. They're all my USANA people, but we're all going to go through a haunted house and just do something fun and kind of bond. And that's me like getting with my team, and a couple of them aren't even ordering right now, but it's just like, come on, let's go. And so that's kind of my journey, right? So, and growing, hit the achiever. That's awesome. Yeah, my big thing is to like be out of the day job and just do this because just the pure joy of it, sharing with people and just letting this light out. And I don't have to do the living room lectures anymore. I can actually get on Facebook and do it. I don't know how I'm doing for time. Oh, I'm like on 15 minutes.
So great. So tell us a little bit about your advancement to achiever, because it's such a great story.
Yes. Yeah. So what basically happened was, by building, I sort of think of it as like a pyramid. So like that very base of the pyramid that I've been just building that. And it's maybe, how do I want to say it? It's, well, it's definitely not boring, but I'm just saying it, like when you're building a base, it's not like, oh, I zoomed a diamond or I did all these things. It's maybe a little bit more like in the trenches and just doing the work day in and day out. That's the other part. Yeah, that could take more than 5 minutes. Talking about my DMO and, how, so I'm like friending 10 or 20 people like every day. And oh my gosh, like how many 3-ways do we get on? And then a lot of times I do a lot of 3-ways on my own. So I'm at like 5 or 7 phone calls a week probably that actually show up. So, and just consistently doing that every day. And it built like this foundation of the associates and clients that are ordering, that are on auto order and everything. So then my points had built up. And another team member, Carlos Gomez, had gone achiever like about 2 weeks ago, I guess it was. And then something just clicked in my mind, and y'all can probably identify with this, that just suddenly you just know, like, okay, I'm going for achiever. And that was on a Friday night. And if you know like how USANA goes, like everything closes out Friday night. So Saturday morning, you go to the hub and there's like a new set of numbers. And I was like, whoa, a bunch of stuff rolled up just sort of serendipitously, meaning like good luck, a good accident, that there was just a bunch of points. But it's because of all that work I've been doing for 14 months to build that. And then that came forward, and it was like just a very little bit to not only get my platinum pace setter, but also get achiever at the same time. And that was like a huge luck too, that came at the same time. But it didn't take much then because of all that work that I've been putting in. It wasn't like instantaneous. Like suddenly I'm going to have, 1,600 points in one day. I mean, it can happen, but.
Yeah, no, it's so cool though, because you had built the foundation, and then it seemed like the energy just kind of came together that particular week. It's like, wow, all these auto orders processed, but you had been building those relationships with good people. And it's like, oh my gosh, if you just get 500 points this week, you're going to make the advancement. And it was like, okay, I'm definitely doing that. And then you did it. And it's just so cool to like see how it all came together. It was really fun and cool. And now you're going to be getting stuff in the mail from the USANA recognition department, by the way. So keep your eye out for that. It's just it's so neat to watch you grow in the company, and also see you do this at a professional level. And what I mean by that is going through the numbers, going through people not showing up, going through kind of flaky prospects to find the great prospects, and like all that. Can you share about that process that you've gone through, especially with going through high numbers on Facebook?
Yes, yeah. So, and at this point, I have really got to, I call it like the 7 degrees separation. Like I started out with going in groups of interest that I had. And so then there was like that little circle of friends. But, when you do it like 9, 10, 12 months and you don't go back to any groups, which I haven't done yet, then you begin to get the friends of the friends of the friends. And so now they're like so cold, they're warm people, but they don't know me at all. So it seems like, I'm just going through a lot of numbers, and there's a lot of no's, a lot of people that just don't want to get on a phone call at all. And then there's those that won't get on, they'll say they'll do a phone call, but then they don't show up, or they forget, or this or that. Life takes over. And so, it was really funny. So yesterday I like threw a little tantrum about it. And so like we all have those moments, we're like, oh my God, I can't believe it's happened again. And, so you call your upline, right? And then that person helps, what do they say? Go, if you're down, call up. And if you're up, call down, right? So, and so Jared, you like totally helped, and you were like, hey, yeah, you just gotta, be putting out like the energy of thinking about the people. Like I do have wonderful people who are on auto order that are coming to my little event and all this stuff. And so focus on that, though. That's the energy that I want to put out there in affirmations and my thought process. And the more I think about like, oh, that darn person didn't show up, or that person said they'd order on a link and then they never did it, and if I'm thinking of that stuff, I just get more of that. And that's more like the old me before all this, where I was like addicted to complaining, and that's kind of like sometimes the human condition, like, what can I complain about today? But so now, like I said, I'm a completely different person. Oh my God. I just can't even describe it in 14 months of so much more positive. I was pretty positive before, but now it's like kind of crazy. In fact, sometimes people even sort of get overwhelmed with my energy and like turn away or leave because it's just like so much sometimes, right?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, it's really cool to see you make that shift and like focus on, well, first of all, being aware when we go there, because we all go there certain times where we just get into some kind of like maybe negative mindset. And really the key is to get yourself out of it and to catch it soon, so it doesn't become a whole day thing or 3 days or something. Sometimes it could do that if it's not caught, and you're catching it fast, switching into the gratitude like it's a process, right? It's like becoming a master of law of attraction. It's like the best way I can put it. And it's so cool to see you doing it quickly and making those shifts. Can you also share with us about how you've lost 37 pounds?
Oh yeah, we forgot about that part. Yeah.
That's like
okay. Well,
deal.
That's kind of important, right? Yeah.
On the products, you're a product of the product. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I'd done the reset, the 5-day one, a couple times, and both times I would lose 5 pounds. But I just go back to my normal way of eating, but I always loved the shakes. That was always a part of my day. but I just really didn't take it seriously, like in the transform phase. And so when I hit June 1st, and I was like 189 pounds, and this is really funny too, because like I call that my baby weight. So my highest weight I was when I was pregnant with William was 190. So it's always like that's sort of like this line that I can't cross. If I'm going to get above that, I don't even have a baby. It's like it's really bad. So that always like a wake up call. So I was there, and I just got really serious about it. So I literally have like, me, I'm like one shake in the morning, like a very small snack, and then a dinner. And that's what I do. And then all the so essentials, almost every single product I take now. Vitamin D, we won't even list them all, but all this stuff, proflavanol, that keeps my energy levels so good. And with the shakes, I don't feel hungry. And in fact, I just had one maybe about an hour ago. So I had a whole morning where I actually hadn't eaten anything. And then that one I had around lunch. But so then the pounds just have started coming off, like about 2 a week, which is like really healthy. So now I am actually down about 39 pounds. So I'm about 150 from 189. It's crazy.
OMG.
Yeah.
So you lost
I got to get a new
pounds.
I know. I got to get like a new wardrobe, because literally everything's falling off of me, like all my shorts.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And didn't someone say you look like Princess Diana now?
Yeah, someone said that. I was like, what a nice compliment, right?
Thank you.
Exactly. Wow.
Royalty. You saw
royalty.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So awesome. All right, well, let's open it up for questions. We have 7 minutes left, and I know we have people watching on Facebook Live. So if you're watching on Facebook Live, type in your question. I'll ask Sue Ann live here on the video. And for our live participants, you get first priority. So please type in your questions for Sue Ann, and I will read them. So while we're waiting for people to type in their questions, I guess I want to ask you, what has been like your favorite prospecting story?
Oh, wow. That's a good one. Let me think. Like in person or on? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So probably my favorite one, okay, is when you have someone who's like completely cold market, and they either order or I had one become like a top enroller, living in a completely different state. So that was super encouraging to me, because I didn't really cover that part too much, about how I just didn't really want to do a lot of living room meetings and like and going to hotels and spending whole evenings with prospects and whatnot. And I love like Zooms and webinars, and I love being on Facebook and connecting that way, and then doing a phone call. So I could get so much more done. So I knew that there was like this huge possibility with that. And husband actually he does his own business. It's nothing to do with network marketing, all on that. He's got customers all over the world. So I just knew there was this possibility. And so when it began to come true that I would get people ordering and enrolling and all this stuff, completely unknown to me, in a different state. In fact, we're talking to one later today. She's over in Tucson, just a little bit north of Tucson. And she's been so cool. She followed me on my Facebook Live. So that's another really important thing. You got to have like sort of like this whole brand that you build that's behind the scenes, because people will then look at you and they'll be like, they want to see your live. They want to see what you're like. They want to see what you're posting. What do your pictures look like? So that's all got to be like really good there. So she was watching all that. And then when I did a product live a couple weeks ago, she ended up buying. Oh, the other cool thing about that little story too is that she was like, oh, I don't think I can afford the whole reset. And I was telling Jared about how I felt like it was like that noodle that, like when you pour the noodles in the strainer, and like that one noodle is about to get down in the sink. But it was like, no, I don't want that noodle to go away. And so I just sold her just a bag of shakes, right? And she signed up with that. But she has been going in our Team DSI, whatchamacallit, in the words escaping my mind, but the groups. She's going in the groups. She's been liking other people's stuff. She's like real super active. So literally I'm going to be like, hey, don't you want to be an associate? Be on my team. So that's, yeah, she's a really cool lady. And so that's probably maybe my favorite one right now is someone like 2-3 states away. I don't know at all, but could very well become a really cool team member.
Yeah, that's when you've built a good brand, because she's probably stalked you and gone down your thread and saw your Facebook lives, and that's where the consistency comes in. Putting content out, whether you're being successful or not some days, but still doing the Facebook live, still
Oh yeah,
putting positive content, and then people go back and watch it, and then sometimes they make their decision to be your partner or your client from that relationship you built with them, and you didn't even know they were watching.
Right.
So, yeah, it's so cool. Okay, so we have 4 questions.
Okay.
I'm
All
gonna ask
right.
all 4, and we'll see if we can go a minute or 2 over, but I want to get everyone's question answered. Okay, so Sims Aldover from San Antonio says, when do you find time to work out? Randy Krebs from Salt Lake City asks, what products have been instrumental in your weight loss journey? Adriana Perez from San Antonio asks, what was the biggest challenge? And Pippa Mulryan from Utah asks, how do you feel?
Oh, wow. Well, I feel,
Let's go.
yeah, I'll start with that one first, right? Yeah,
Okay.
I feel wonderful almost all the time. And that's like really, really cool. And that's part of what Jared was talking about, like, catching yourself. So when I all of a sudden don't, or I want to throw a tantrum, or I'm upset about something, it's just like sort of jarring because it's just so different. And I don't want that feeling at all, almost not even for like a second. So it lasts more than a second though, but let's see. So, my biggest challenge is probably still all myself, just getting outside my comfort zone more and more and more. So building it up to now, I do 4 Facebook Lives a week. And so what really helped me get through that challenge was I picked like 4 subjects that I liked. So I like continuously go back and do those topics. And so like, Monday, it became Marathon Monday because I'm preparing for a Monday, and then Intuitive Tuesday. So I talk about intuitive living, and then I call it We Wednesday, but it's actually the product live that I do on Wednesdays, and then Financial Friday about residual income and streams of income on Fridays. And so that's really helped me stay on track. So no matter how I feel, if I have a cold or if I feel depressed or whatever happens that's going on, I still do it anyway. And sometimes you could even share that you're not feeling that great. And people love that because you're real, Now I forgot the other 2. Remind me, the first 2.
Yes. What products have been instrumental in your weight loss journey?
Okay, well, for sure, the shake. So I do chocolate Nutrimeal or Dutch chocolate. And then I put the Fiber G in there. And so that's like my breakfast or lunch, depending where that comes. And really like Essentials, vitamin D, proflavanol, Copa Prime, love that now. All that gives me the energy through the day. And then I have like a normal meal at night. And I really don't crave any sweets. I need to be a huge sweet eater, like bowl of ice cream, like every night. Yeah, you'll get to 190 pounds at that.
Wow.
Like that's what I do.
I find it interesting that you only have kind of like 2 meals a day. The late shake, late morning, early afternoon shake, and then the normal healthy dinner. No snacks, anything, just basically those 2?
Well, sometimes like I could have a bar. Sometimes I'll have like a bite of cheese, things like that. Maybe I'll have like a late cup of coffee with some milk in it.
Oh,
but
okay.
literally like that's all I do.
Okay. No, I mean, that's cool because a lot of times you do need to create a calorie deficit to lose weight.
Yeah.
And, but at the same time, feel good and not feel starving and things like that. And it sounds like you're able to do that with the shake and then the healthy meal and little snack maybe here and there, which is really great info for everybody to use. So.
And also ends up with like that intermittent fasting times, where I'm not eating at all. Yeah. Little box of time.
And then the last question from Sims was, when do you find time to work out?
Okay. So, so I work out for about an hour. And I was doing it almost like every day until about like 4 or 5 days ago, I caught a head cold. So I've actually like stopped on that and given myself a kindness break. But so what I would do is I would do it usually in the early evening before I was doing all my calls, and after the day job is when I would do it. And then I do a longer run on Saturday mornings.
So you do it before your dinner, I guess? Like you'd have your shake and do your day, and then you'd work out at like 4 in the afternoon, and then have your dinner, and then do your work or whatnot. Oh.
Correct. Yes. And sometimes I'll do a Facebook Live even during it, or I'll get like a lot of like inspiration, so it's not like just downtime. So I'm planning, I'm thinking through the whole time when I'm running. So.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, this has been a very enlightening Facebook Live. Sue Ann, thank you so much for sharing. I love how you talked about your biggest challenge being yourself, and just that evolution of who you've become in the last 14 months. I have seen it before my very eyes, as many of us have on our team. And I just have to say it's a pleasure and a joy to work with you, to be part of your story and to be your friend, and just to see you succeed. So thank you for being such a great inspiration to the team, a great personal friend, a best friend for sure for me.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, of course. And so I just want to end this call by asking, what's your one tip of advice you would like to leave with all of our viewers today?
Yeah, I would say, again, I always talk about consistency, and that's like even doing it when you don't want to do it and you feel a little down. It's just like a habit, and you just do it anyway. And then you'll come out on the other side. There'll be like a greater day the next day, and just be real consistent.
Yay, consistency. It's the thing. That's what it's all about. Well, thank you, Sue Ann. This has been awesome. We're going to unmute the lines, and everyone say, thank you, Sue Ann, and have an awesome day. I think.
Thank you, Sue Ann. Have an
Thank you.
Thank you, Sue Ann. Have an awesome day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sue Ann. Have an awesome day.
Thank you, Sue Ann. Love to you.